OCO, my name is Shanista Cloud. I work for the Cherokee Nation Cultural Resource Center. The following video is part of our new education series geared toward assisting teachers set up their own cultural activities in the classroom. In this video, we're going to talk about how to set up a stickball pole at your school and a few ways that you can do that. We're focusing on what's called the social game. This is a game that was played by men and women. It had some ceremonial purpose. It was meant to bring the community together. A traditional stickball pole for a social game in a village would have been roughly 25 to 30 feet high. It would have been made out of a particular type of wood. It would have been made out of the tallest, straightest tree that could be found. When that tree was cut down, it was not allowed to touch the ground. It had to stay in the air until it was placed in its final spot. This first pole I'm going to show you is set up with fence posts that you see here in the ground. This is a T-post that you can find at hardware store, home improvement stores. And it's also made with these chain link poles that you see on the ground here. These are roughly 7 to 8 feet sections with a tapered end on one side and a regular end at the other. With this setup, you can make the pole taller or shorter depending on the age of your students. It's real simple to set up this pole. You want to have your fish, your target, in the pole first before you set it up, just like that. And then depending on the age of your students, all you want to do is place it against the T-post and use any kind of tape that you have access to hold it to the post. We typically use duct tape or masking tape. You can also make this pole higher by attaching both ends. And in the same way, you're just going to stand it up next to your T-post and tape it down. A real simple, easy way to set up a stickball pole. This can be moved anywhere, just any big open space that you have, so long as you make sure it's safe to put a T-post in the ground. The base of this pole has just been welded into this wheel, and then the tire itself has been filled with concrete. This is a much heavier option, but it's made with common pieces that can be picked up at any junkyard. This pole is made using these fence pipes, similar to the first one. These pipes are just much longer and heavier duty, but it's another option that you can use. This pole is made to fit this base, and this fish was custom made to fit the top of this pole also. This is a much taller option, so for older kids, high schoolers, but it's also sectional, so it can be taken down to half this length. This last example of a stickball pole I'm going to show you is meant to be indoors. This can be used outside, but it's meant for those days when the weather turns bad and you need to move inside to a gym. And just to show you that your pole can be made out of almost anything that's available to you, this base is made from an outdoor cigarette disposal. It's heavy so that it won't knock the pole over. And we've used this rug, a simple rug that can be bought at any local store, to keep from scratching up whatever floor you're using. For this pole, we're using these sections of PVC pipe that can be found at any local hardware store or home improvement store. These pipes are meant to fit this pole, so depending on what you use, just make sure that your pipes fit whatever base you have. Just like the poles outside, these can be adjusted in height, so you can have a shorter section with just one pipe for smaller children, or you can add the second section for older children. Again, you want to make sure you put your fish in the pole before you stand it up. And there you go. For Cherokees, the fish was a symbol of prosperity. That's why we typically use it as the top of our stickball pole. It can be made out of any piece of wood that you might have. The fish on the right is made using a 2x4 that's just been cut down and shaped. The fish on the left was made using a piece of plywood, and it's just been painted nice and pretty. Make your fish fit your pole. The size really doesn't matter, it's just personal preference. Stickball is typically played with the boys using a pair of sticks, and the girls just using their hands. To play, they'll also need a stick ball, hence the name Stickball. The ball is typically made out of leather, wrapped around a lightweight stone, nut, something wrapped in fur, and then covered in leather. For more information on where to purchase stickball sets, please contact the Cherokee Nation Cultural Resource Center.
Wado for your time to learn about Cherokee culture and history. Share what you learned today with someone else. For more information, contact Cherokee Nation Education Services Cultural Resource Center at education@cherokee.org or 918-453-5000 and ask for education services.